Anya, thank you very much for your time and congratulations on Furiosa.
Thank you.
It was amazing. Like for me, Furiosa is one of the biggest movies of, I would say, all time.
Ever, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Childhood. My mother. I want them back.
I want them back.
And I bet it was like a huge physical challenge for you to do a movie like that. So how was your preparation to be Furiosa on the screen?
It was so exciting, you know, I was looking for something that was going to test my mettle, both physically, emotionally, mentally, and I got it. I started training about a year before I went out to Australia in all the car stunts, all the bike stunts, and then just being physically strong enough to be able to do the stunts again and again and again. And I loved it. Like, I want to get my stunt driver's license now because it's just so much fun.
And we can feel that on the in the screen. So, in talking about all the stunts and all the action scenes, how was the mix between the practical effects, the practical sets, because you guys worked in the desert and all, with the CGI work as well that you guys had to do? How was that? How was that to share those two things at the same time?
I think it was important that we could do everything practically. We got rained out. I don't know what it is about George Miller, where every time he tries to make a desert movie, it just starts to pour with rain. So there were a couple of things that we unfortunately couldn't do out in the open that we had planned to do. But it was very important that all of the stunts worked physically. And I'd say probably my favorite stunt, which is less of a stunt and more of a sequence, is something called Stowaway. And that was pretty much all practical.
Oh, nice to know. Yeah, and it's amazing. It's
Oh,
amazing.
thank you.
Remember me?
And what about your spin on Furiosa? We know that Charlize did an amazing job with the first movie, but you've been saying that you wanted to give your view of the character and everything, and we can see that it's, even though it's similar, we know that it's a little bit different. So how was your take on the character and what did you bring to the character?
I think what was important is, first and foremost, you have a responsibility to the script. And so the story of the character that I was telling was very, very different from that of Fury Road. They're in completely different stages of their lives. I was a little bit intimidated, to be honest with you, just because George had such a specific vision of how he wanted Furiosa to hold her face, and that really left me only my eyes with which to be able to communicate. But I do think that it probably adds a level of intensity to the film because you're watching this woman just be, I don't know, like she's just boiling the whole time, and so you're waiting for her to erupt.
Yeah, and we can see that eruption by the third act and everything, like the actual vengeance coming together.
Yeah.
And it's different. It's a third act that it's unexpected, I would say, in some ways. And how was your feeling, and how can you like explain what was the actual vengeance that we see there? Because it's different. It's something new that we can see. Like the meaning of vengeance for Furiosa, it's not the same thing that we are expecting.
I think it's if there is such a thing, it's a hopeful vengeance. And I think the way that George has chosen to tell that story is something, as you said, that's very unique, but has an element of, you know, the last, I don't want to give any spoilers, but this idea of like, this fruit is not for us, this is for the future generations. So I hope that it's a more hopeful vengeance.
Sure, and last question, how you differentiate Furiosa from Fury Road? What do you think that is the difference between those two movies?
Fury Road is a chase movie. Furiosa is an odyssey. It is an absolute epic, and it's unrelenting. I think that's probably the thing that unifies the two of them, is that they're both unrelenting. You're constantly on the move in some way, shape, or form. But with this, I think you get to know the backstory of somebody that you've come to know and love, and you get to understand why she is the way that she is.